Sudan and South Sudan. History, oil and gas, imports, exports, and domestic disputes. Sudan gained its independence from joint British and Egyptian rule in January 1956, although the country was divided into a primarily Islamic north and a primarily Christian south. The South hoped it would eventually gain substantial autonomy from the North. Southern guerrilla forces rebelled against the Sudanese government over the government's failure to grant the South substantial autonomy, starting a civil war. During the war, Colonel Jafar Namiri seized power and promised to grant autonomy to the South. The war lasted until 1972, when the Addis Ababa Agreement granted an administrative region to the South.
President Numeri's declaration of Sudan as an all-Islamic state caused the South to rebel in 1983, starting another civil war that lasted until 2005. In the region of Sudan known as Darfur, the Sudan Liberation Movement and the Justice and Equality Movement rebelled against the Sudanese government in 2003. The government used the help of nomadic tribes called Janjaweed to thwart the rebellion. President al-Bashir has been issued an arrest warrant for the crimes and crimes against humanity, as estimated civilians' deaths are over 300,000.
The Comprehensive Peace Agreement of 2005 brought peace between the Sudanese government and the South and gave the South the opportunity to vote for its independence from Sudan. The people of southern Sudan voted for independence, and on July 9, 2011, South Sudan became the world's newest country.
Reports of Sudan's oil production after its independence. South Sudan remains dependent on Sudan to transport its oil to the Bashir port along the Red Sea. The economic impact of losing so much oil production forces Sudan to rely on service fees charged to South Sudan to help sustain its economy. China, India, and Malaysia dominate the oil sectors of Sudan and South Sudan. Sudan's national oil company, Sudapet, and South Sudan's national oil company, Nilepet, hold small stakes in oil operations. It is estimated that Sudan and South Sudan had a combined 5 billion barrels of proved oil reserves as of January 2014. Disputes over transport fees caused South Sudan to shut down its oil production in 2012 for 15 months, which had a devastating economic impact to Sudan. Open hostilities between the two countries occurred in March of 2012 for 2 months over the oil-rich region of Heglige, which lies on the border of Sudan and South Sudan.
Recent conflict has caused frequent disruption in Sudan and South Sudan's oil production over the past few years. Oil production has fallen from 490,000 barrels per day in 2010 to 260,000 barrels per day in 2014. Hostilities between the two countries in the disputed oil-rich region of Heglige also caused about 370,000 barrels per day of unplanned disruptions. Increasing stability and better relations has had positive effects on oil production over the past year. 86% of Sudan and South Sudan's 133,000 barrels per day of crude oil export is exported to China, making China the leading recipient of Sudan and South Sudan's oil. Oil consumption increased by an annual average of 10% due to increased industrialization until 2012, when South Sudan shut down oil production over service fees to Sudan. This caused a nearly 30% drop in consumption, which has remained stagnant through 2013.
In December of 2013, fighting erupted in the streets of South Sudan's capital city of Juba between forces loyal to President Salva Kiir and those loyal to his former vice president Riek Machar, starting yet another civil war. Mass killings of ethnic groups and the use of forcibly recruited child soldiers are horrible tactics used by both forces until peace was reached in August of 2015.